Well, it has been raining non-stop here in Pune, while we had some fun riding all new Pulsar N160. So let's start with the design of this motorcycle. Starting with the design, you will see that the new N160 does look like the N250, and that is because it shares the same chassis and engine architecture with the N250. So you'll see a similar headlight cluster with a bi-LED projector headlamp and LED DRLs up front. Here you have the telescopic front forks and a 100 by 80 section tire running on 17-inch alloys. This is coupled with a 300mm disc brake, which also gets ABS. Coming to the side, we have this tank shroud with a nice looking graphics, and here you have the engine bay where the 165cc engine is housed. You also get an underbelly exhaust, and let me fire it up for you and show you how it sounds. So that was the exhaust note of the Pulsar N160. Let us know in the comments what do you think of it. Moving on, as a rear you get a 130 by 70 section tire sitting on 17-inch alloys and is equipped with a 230mm brakes. Now, this version comes with dual channel ABS, but this bike will also be available with a single channel ABS as well, and that will be available a little later. You also get a monoshock suspension right here. The rear taillights have the similar design as the N250, flanked by regular bulb turn indicators just like the front. The seat is split, and as you can see, it is fairly long and wide for the pillion and gets grab handles too to provide additional grip to the pillion. The rider seat is also pretty comfortable and is tapering at the front so that the rider can grip the bike comfortably. The instrument cluster also is borrowed from the N250, which is the same infinity display and has the telltale lights right here, an analog tacho, a digital speedo, a gear position indicator, along with the fuel gauge and the neutral light. The handlebar is nice and short as well. On the right side, you have the engine kill switch and ignition, along with the headlight switch. On the left, you get the high beam control, turn switches, and the horn. The mirrors also are nice and wide, and they provide a pretty decent view of the traffic coming from behind. The fuel tank too looks nice and muscular and has some graphics here. The fuel capacity is 14 liters, which is fairly enough considering this is a sports commuter. Now let's come to the performance of the Bajaj Pulsar N160. Bajaj is calling the Pulsar N160 a entry-level sports commuter. And this is aimed at people looking for a balanced, sporty and city performance. So starting with the engine, this is a 165cc oil-cooled DTSi engine, which produces 16 PS at 8,750 RPM and 14.7 Newton meters of torque at 6,500 RPM. Speaking about in-gear speeds, the bike can go up to 35 km per hour in the first gear, 60 kmph in second, 80 kmph in third, and 100 kmph in the fourth gear. This is a pretty smooth revving engine, and you will not feel any vibrations up to 10,000 RPM. The meat of the power is between 7,000 and 9,000 RPM. That's where you will get the full power of this motorcycle, and it will go all the way up to 11,000 RPM, which is its red line. Cruising at 80 to 95 kmph is a breeze, and you will not feel any fatigue even after a long ride. The suspension too complements the motorcycle well and is a good balance for city and highway riding. However, it is a bit on the stiffer side, and going on bad roads will really give you those shockers on the back. As for the handling, it is pretty easy to handle given its sporty character and the shorter handlebar, which is pegged towards the rider. The foot pegs too are nice and grippy and are a little rare set, so they give a sporty riding position to the rider. The rear foot pegs also are of good quality and slide in and out effortlessly. Now let's talk about the mileage. So Bajaj claims that this bike can return up to 48.5 kilometers to the liter, but in our testing we saw that this bike can deliver anywhere between 41 to 43 kmph, and this is fairly good considering this is a sporty motorcycle, and this is fairly good considering the nature of this engine, which is pretty high revving and overall its sporty character. So you get a good tank range as well, considering the bike has a 14-liter fuel tank. The bike is available in two colors, the black that you see here. There is also a blue color available. Now, speaking of its competition, obviously the Pulsar N160 goes up against Bajaj's own NS160. That bike has a little more power, but the nature of the engine of the N160 is very different. So if you're looking for a stylish looking motorcycle and you want all the latest features, you can go in for the N160. Speaking of the TVS Apache RTR 164V, which also is a competition for the N160, and the Gixxer 155 as well, the Pulsar N160 gets a longer wheelbase and a bigger fuel tank. The other two get only 12 liters of fuel tank, and which means that you are going to get a longer range with the Pulsar N160. Speaking about prices, the N60 with a single channel ABS is priced at 1,22,854 rupees ex-showroom, and the dual channel ABS version is priced at 1,27,853. Now, considering the competition, the TVS Apache RTR 164V edges out a little bit because it is a little cheaper in both the standard version and the special edition. However, the Gixxer 155 does not get dual channel ABS, but is the most expensive in the lot. So who is the Pulsar N160 for? This bike is for someone who was looking at the Pulsar N250 but did not want a more powerful motorcycle, or a motorcycle that was as expensive as the N250, or you are on a tight budget. Maybe this is going to be your first motorcycle, so you definitely can go in for the N160, which is about 22,000 cheaper than the N250, and it's more frugal as well, so you get more mileage out of it. So that was the Pulsar N160 for you. Let us know what you think about this motorcycle, and if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is Vipul signing off. Subscribe to Motoroids if you haven't already, and press that bell icon so that you get notified whenever we upload our next video. This is Vipul signing off. I will see you in the next video. Until then, rev hard, rev free, and ride safe.